same thing.
I'm still pulling up the fourth edition PDF.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a fifth edition PDF for sale, and that one
Yeah,
was for
the fifth edition is out right now.
$50.
Those are the easier ones to find, but it's a completely different dice system. I've read up a little bit on it. Like I like where it's headed, but it's very much different. Like you have to use special dice. There's like a combination of 12s and 6s, where the previous 4 editions have used just a pool of 10.
I thought the 5e isn't it just the narrative dice, or do they actually use numbered dice as well?
I think there is a chart to where you can convert the two.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they want you to use like these special narrative picture dice for it. But it does seem like you can accomplish a lot with a single roll, because there's like emotional breakdown in there, or like cool things that can happen depending on exactly what symbols you roll. But again, it's just very, very different from the previous edition. So not everybody came on board with that.
I'll let you know, that was me last night. Oh, I can't get 4th edition? Let's buy all the 5th edition books I can find.
You were going to get along just fine, Chuck. I can already tell.
I was like, ooh, hyperfixation, let's buy them all.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
Right.
Uh-oh. Having audio issues with you there, bud.
Who?
Me?
Yeah, Eddie.
No. No.
Hopefully it'll stay with us while we go. So thank you everybody for joining us. Welcome to the first episode of Heart of an Empire on DMDM Studios, hosted by our illustrious Game Master Andy, Lost Haven Art on Twitter. He also designed the overlay, the backgrounds, all the fancy stuff that you're seeing here in front of you. That's all him and a Wolves Den teaching me how to not be completely technically inept. So, major shout-outs to our tech support and our artist and our Game Master. And thank you to everybody for joining us. So, I think without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn things on over to Andy.
Okay. Then, let's begin. All of your characters have been sent an invitation within the last few weeks to a summons from the Emerald Champion, Kakita Yuki of the Crane Clan, to the Emerald Court. Now, all of you are fairly young samurai, and such an invitation is a pretty big deal. So the first thing we're really wanting to do is I'm going to go around. I'm going to pick at random and go around and have each of you introduce your characters. Tell me how your character's feeling about this invitation and their first time having to go to the Imperial Court, especially to appear in front of the Emerald Champion and possibly the new Empress herself. So I'm going to roll a d10. I'm going to give you all a number. So Derek, you're 1 to 2. Stefan, 3 to 4. Will, 5 to 6. Eddie, 7 to 8. And Chuck, you're going to be 9 to 10. And that's who we're going to start with. So, 3. Okay. Our dragon, Kitsuki Sho. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're feeling with this very important invitation.
Well, Kitsuki Sho comes from the Dragon Clan. In Rokugan, the dragons were tasked to be the watchers of the Emerald Empire, and this is something they took very seriously and very literally. Their entire clan has cloistered themselves up in the mountains to the north of the region, and they literally kind of watch down on everything that's happening below. They're also scholars and monks and historians. So this is the sort of environment that Kitsuki Sho has grown up in. He's young, he's idealistic, he has been trained in the dragon style of dual blade combat, which is sort of a rarity in the Emerald Empire. but he has no real experience, especially with the outside world. So receiving an invitation like this is a huge honor, and it's also very exciting for him. Although he's, trying to do the proper samurai thing of keeping his emotions under control, but he's looking very much forward to. Oh, okay. Thought we lost Eddie there for a second. He's very much looking
What?
forward to exploring the world, to actually get down off the mountain and meet some of these people and other clans that he's heard so much about. He is very anxious to start this journey. He has begun packing right away, saddling up his horse, getting his blades nice and sharp, for any dangers that might wait out there. He has no idea, so he starts this journey off with, a smile on his face and a song in his heart, and he is very much looking forward, especially to some warmer weather. So he comes from Snow Peak Mountains. So yeah, he's very excited, as am I.
Okay. Shiba Shiru of the Phoenix Clan. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you're feeling about this invitation.
Great. So, Chiba Sheru from the Phoenix Clan, kind of like protectors of the realm, if you will, and a bit magical and mystical. A lot of their teachings are, but he's chosen the katana. He's a little reserved about leaving right now. He's due to be married to the love of his life, basically. That was very fortunate for him to fall into. He also is charged with overseeing a village. So he feels like he has a lot of priorities back at home, but is not going to hesitate to answer the call um, to do his duty. So, as far as his appearance goes, he's basically very forgettable, but during battle, will use a small mask over the bottom half of his face to distinguish himself on the field. And it's going to be all about kind of keeping the peace. And just kind of wants to see what this is all about and make sure he doesn't get into anything too crazy so he can make his way back home eventually.
Cool. Okay. Now, our lion, Kodo Ryon Kuru. How are you feeling about your invitation to the Emerald Court?
So, despite how heavily honored the invitation is, he is bored. He is sad. He is grumpy. This is a political
Oh,
meeting
crap.
to him. Nothing about this is exciting. His face is one with a scowl on it as he begrudgingly leaves home on his horse with his track pack. His swords are right there at the side of his arms, and he just doesn't understand why a battle-ready clan needs to pursue to such court issues. And he is not looking forward to this long, dull meeting.
Cool. Okay. Bayushi Kisho of the Scorpion Clan. How are you feeling about your invitation to the Emerald Court?
You see, and that's not really the best form, in his one exposed eye, you see just a bit of trepidation. It's, even for a Scorpion Clan member, his appearance is very ostentatious. He has these long, flowing black robes with a trail of train behind them, with red trim. He's got fur on his shoulder, like very, very gaudy, very peacocky, and his face is hidden away by a mask that covers everything but his right eye. And around his eye, you can see little bits of scarring. Obviously, something happened to him. But you see him standing, and he is trying not to express that he is somewhat concerned, but this is the biggest event he has ever been to. Like, he's been to local courts, but never to the palace itself. So he's expecting the worst at this point, and he really, despite that, just has an air of "I'm better than you" as he's just scanning and looking from everybody. Like,
Sounds like a
He's-
typical Scorpion.
Yep, he's trying to keep cool, but you know, anybody who's perceptive can see that little bead of sweat on his brow.
Well, you as a scorpion have cause to be nervous.
That is very true.
I don't know how familiar our audience is with this setting, but the Scorpion Clan took it upon themselves to be basically the villains of every story. They do the stuff that no other clan takes on, and they wear that with a badge of honor. So nobody trusts the Scorpions ever.
You're in good company though, as the entire Scorpion clan, along with the Akodo family of the Lion clan, were banished from Rokugan in the last century, and have only in the last few decades been brought back into the fold.
Oh, jeez.
They needed our strength. That is all.
It's like,
Our,
don't mess
our
it up.
strength-
Just
our
cut back
strength
here.
is a
Don't
monk.
mess it up.
Well,
our strength is a must.
I'll cover how that happened at some point, but we'll let that unfold. Finally,
Our,
Kiki
our strength is a
Akuragami
must.
of the Crane clan. How are you feeling about your invitation to the Emerald Court?
Yeah, Kurakami Kakita. He is a 5'10", a bit on the tall side, not like super tall, but a bit taller than average for the typical person. He has quite regularly like toned skin and body to match his frame, and the only truly remarkable feature about him is that he's got the yellow eyes of a wolf that match a a white wolf that follows him everywhere he goes. He is feeling particularly enthused about this. He is a bit on the younger side, as we said, and pretty excited about the fact that he's going to get to go off and start his journey that he's been destined for this whole time.
Well, let's get to it then. We're going to jump ahead to your arrival at court, and again, I'm going to start in the same order that we went round them. So, of the 5 of you to set out to the Imperial capital, Kitsuki Sho, you're the first to arrive at the Imperial Palace.
He probably does not arrive in quite the same state as he left. He's had quite a long journey ahead of him, from rough mountain territory to crossing rivers, going through several towns and forested areas. This is probably the first time he's experienced things like heat and humidity, and he absolutely hates it. This is awful. This is the worst. Like, how do people breathe in this? I don't understand it. This is insane. So he's had to, like, along the way, kind of adjust his clothing style, like learn how to work with layering and which garments to wear. So he takes a little extra care when he arrives at court to make sure that he's cleaned himself up a bit, has some nice stuff to wear to be presentable. He is absolutely not going to dishonor himself or his clan in front of the throne. So he's a little off of his game at the moment, so he's a little more nervous than he should be, but at the same time he is just bursting with excitement to be here. This is a place that he has only heard stories about. So he's trying not to do the tourist thing of, like looking at everything and just, walk forward, just stare straight ahead. Don't look. It's cool. Like, just be cool. Be cool. So,
This like the Dragon Clan, most of your towns and citadels and stuff are relatively small. They're built up in mountains. Otosan Uchi, which is the capital of the Emerald Empire, is the largest city in the entire empire. It's huge, and it probably feels very alien to you being here. And in the center of it all, it's hard to miss. The city sort of is built on a river, and it sort of goes uphill. You can see the Imperial Palace sort of sitting on the top of the hill. It's a fortified building. of like plastered white walls with the sort of jade covered banners of the Empire sort of fluttering from everywhere that can hold a flag or a banner. When you approach the palace itself, the Imperial Legion, the legionaries, the guards of the palace, will politely bow to you and allow you access as soon as you sort of present them the invitation that you've been sent. And you're sort of met by a number of servants as soon as you go through the gates, who are all bowing quite formally. They'll take your daisho from you at the door. It's quite common for samurai to not take their swords with them into places, and the Imperial, that's something you definitely expect from the Imperial.
They don't want me armed in front of the Empress. What? I can't imagine why that would be.
The only person allowed armed anywhere near the Empress is the Emerald Champion himself or herself. But you are brought into. There's like the main court where people would come to see the Empress. The Emerald Champion has his own chambers where he can greet guests, and that is the room, the sort of wing of the palace that you're sort of brought to. When you arrive, there is no one else in that room, but the servants inform you to take your sandals off, leave them at the door. You can make yourself comfortable. They will bring in like hot water and a cloth so that you can clean the dust off yourself from the road, and you can sit and enjoy the tranquility until the Emerald Champion is ready to hold his court once the other visitors arrive.
Yeah, that sounds good. That gives him a moment to sort of collect himself and recenter on his serenity. So yeah, he just kind of sort of take it all in and just enjoy being here for the moment.
Shibashiru, you again arrive at the Imperial capital. The Phoenix Clan, a little bit different from the Dragons. Larger settlements aren't as uncommon for you to see, but again, nowhere near the size of the Imperial capital. Similarly to our dragon, once you arrive at the gates of the Imperial Palace and show the invitation to the guards, they bow politely, open the gates to you. You're greeted by a number of servants again. They take your daisho, they reassure you that it will be held somewhere securely, and you're taken to the same room where there is only one other samurai present, and judging from the mon that are present on his clothing, you can tell that he is a member of the Dragon Clan.
I enter that room and very slowly and methodically get into a centered position, as if to meditate. And if at any point in time we were to look at each other, me and this dragon fellow, give a stern nod and go on with my meditation.
Akodo Kuro, you are probably one of the only members here who has been to the Imperial capital before. Lion Clan lands are
Look at him looking
quite
so
near
proud.
the Imperial lands, and your uncle
I'm
is
sorry.
actually your uncle is currently the sitting shogun of the empire, and you would have probably been invited to his sort of inauguration to that title. He was provided that title as a recompense from the new empress for the Akodo family being cast out during the previous imperial line. But to get within the inner chambers of the palace, especially towards the chambers of the Emerald champion is probably something that you've never done before. And similarly to the two other samurai, you're greeted, accepted in once you've shown your invitation. Your swords and weapons have been taken to be stored somewhere safe. And
Do
you're
I get any special treatment from the servers? Because I have a hero of the land and extra fame.
the servants are probably looking at you a little more kindly than the other two, but they won't disobey their direct orders to make sure that you're not taking weapons into the Imperial Palace or anything like that.
Got you.
But you are taken to the Emerald Champions chambers, where again you're given the same information. There'll be hot water provided, cloths to clean the dirt from the road off you, and you're free to make yourself comfortable in the chambers until the Emerald Champion arrives.
Got you. I got you.
This time when you
I'm
enter,
just gonna.
there's two samurai sitting here. One that you can see from the Dragon Clan, and the other of the Phoenix Clan.
We're probably just kind of sitting, hanging out, and making very walled off and very polite conversation. But seeing a third join us, Kitsuki would sort of motion him over and invite him to join as well.
Definitely keeping it light.
He will
Yeah.
ignore that. He's gonna ignore that invitation with a dismissal hand. He's just gonna go off to a corner. He's gonna kneel down and unrobe the top part of his dress wear and just start dusting himself off slowly and methodically. Basically cleaning himself while showing off how honed his body is to show that how the difference between between them.
Okay. Bayushi, Kisho, you arrive at the Imperial capital. The Scorpion Clan are no strangers to heavily urbanized areas. Scorpion Territories actually holds the second largest city in the Rokugan. And so the Imperial capital probably isn't as daunting to you as it is to some of your companions. But the scale of the Imperial Palace is impressive. Scorpion Lords, they have, their fortresses and palaces. They tend to be quite modest in size, but there's probably a number of secret passageways and all sorts of things within Scorpion Palaces, and you have no doubts that the Imperial Palace probably has similar. But you're greeted in a similar manner. Paid all the same respects as your other samurai peers, and politely taken to the Emerald Champion's court. The servants and stuff who greet you are a little bit caught off guard by the mask that you wear. Clearly, for some of the younger servants, they have never seen a Scorpion samurai in the Imperial Palace before, and the way you're dressed, the mask in particular, is very obviously unsettling them, even though they're trying their hardest not to sort of flinch at the scarring around your eye and the demonic visage of the mask that you've got on. But they take you to the Emerald Champion's room, where two samurai are sitting in very, very light and casual conversation, neither one of which revealing too much about themselves to the other, while a third of the Dragon Clan is very obviously trying to show off his physical prowess with how he's holding himself and the way that he has his kimono sort of stripped down to wash off the dirt, clearly showing off some battle scars and very lean muscles that you'd expect to see from an accomplished swordsman. What are you doing now that you're in the Imperial Champion's chambers?
Now that he's in the chamber, that doubt is gone. That he's giving a steel expression. he walks in with a sense of purpose, almost like that Imperial Death March power walk. He's not paying attention to anybody. He's not looking around. He sees the chamber. He sees the champion. He's moving forward. But as he does so, he sees that bit of trepidation and fear and the attendants, and he just stops and stares at one of them. He nods respectfully and then continues going forward. And once he gets in there, he pays little mind to anybody else. He just stands there and waits.
Kakita Kurokami. Similar to Akodo Kuro, this is not your first time in the Imperial capital. The current Emerald champion, Kakita Yuki, is a cousin of yours. Like, twice or 3 times removed, but still within the Kakita family. He is what the Kakita dojo informs all of its students to strive toward. In skill, if maybe not his demeanour. But you've been here before to see him being granted that honour. Although, similar to Akodo Kuro, you've never been within the deeper reaches of the palace, such as the Emerald Champion's chambers. And similar to your peers, you're greeted with the utmost respect by the guards and servants, provided all the same information that you'll be escorted to the Emerald Champion's chambers. Warm water and a cloth will be provided for you to clear the dirt from the road off you. And that the Emerald Champion will be there shortly to discuss whatever it is he wishes to discuss with his guests. When you reach the chamber, obviously the other 4 samurai are already present. And you see that there are at least 5 of the 8 great clans represented now within this room. How does that make you feel?
Would this be before or after I hand over my sword?
After. The swords are probably the first thing removed from you. The wolf probably will not be allowed to accompany you into the
Oh
palace.
no. Okay. Then I think I would feel extravagantly naked at this point. Not only have I had my family's sword taken from me, but my closest companion is not with me. I imagine Kami tries to appear like he's not sticking out too much. Just kind of takes everything in really quickly, and then makes for the corner next to the Akodo clan member who is cleaning himself off to begin cleaning myself off.
I will turn my head and look at this man with the deepest amount of hatred I can forge into my eyes as I stare at this man, and I will deepen my tone and say, "Wait for me to finish before I allow this man into this."
You're gonna have to repeat yourself there, buddy.
Rewrote myself. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's probably the new headphones. I would look at this man with the deepest amount of hatred I could forge and tell this man to wait as I rewrote myself, stand up, and knock over the bucket of water, making it seem on purpose. I will on purpose knock over the bucket of water and walk away.
Cool.
Do your best cat impression.
Here we go.
Is there another bucket of water?
One of the attendants in the room with you sort of hurriedly runs over and starts to sort of clean it up, and they are bowing to both of you and apologizing as if it was them
I
who knocked over the bucket, and we'll get more water for you, my lords.
Over my shoulder I say, it's incredibly disrespectful for you to make such a mess in front of the Empress's chambers.
I would turn back and say, "It's incredible disrespectful for your clan to still be allowed here."
All
Right,
are
you should
welcome
fix it,
at the
right?
seat of the Empire.
Quit acting like children. We're in the
Uh,
Imperial Palace.
so
I
someone
can
may
show
have
you a
just
child once we leave this building.
someone may have just lost their first
Scared.
point of honor.
What are we like? Yeah, it's 30 minutes into the session 1.
Yeah,
Mm.
Eddie,
Guys, we
what?
got an hour in. Nobody has honor. There's a wrestling match in the corner. Somebody broke the ancient vase. Like, come on.
Eddie, what's your current honor rank?
My current honor rank is, let me double check, is 6.5.
Whatever
Yeah.
number you say, it's gonna
Um,
be wrong.
It's now 5.5.
Ooh. It's 5.5. Okay.
As the
Yeah.
as the attendant is like finishing up, I bow to them slightly and I thank them for what would be the term? I thank them for their I can't think of the word. It's not inconspicuousness. It's congeniality. I thank them for their congeniality.
I raised my hand up as a sign of apology.
the
And say it
servant sort
wasn't
of,
my mean to make a mess. It's just there was a mess that needed to be cleaned up with a lot of hot water.
the servant bows. Oh, it's my fault. I shouldn't have put the bucket in somewhere where it would be knocked over so easily. He sort of takes it, bows again, and disappears out the door. And about 10 minutes later, another servant comes in with a fresh basin of warm water and a cloth.
Furiously types down notes.
But after maybe 10-15 minutes after the second basin is brought to you, a troupe of musicians enters the room, playing their instruments as they sort of enter, apart from the person who plays like the big sitar type thing. The rest of the musicians are playing, and then they set up and they start to sort of strum. And then the door opens again, and then the figure of the Emerald Champion sort of slowly enters. Now, Kakika Yuki is hard to pinpoint. They have the dyed white hair that many of the Crane clan tend to favour as a style. But he wears it loose and flowing, and it sort of goes right down past his backside. He wears a long flowing kimono of sky blue silk with cranes sort of printed into it. The style of the kimono is strange. It's sort of somewhere in between what you'd expect a male samurai, or like any sort of samurai abushi typically to be wearing, with like more conservative sleeves and a tighter fit, and the longer, more flowing kimono of a lady of the house or a geisha to wear. And his sort of outfit sort of sits somewhere in between. It's a little bit more ostentatious than you would expect from someone with the title of Emerald Champion. But they enter the room with what all of you can perceive as being the grace of a predatory animal, like a cat. He doesn't have the full daisho tucked into his sash though, only the wakizashi. As he sort of walks through the middle of the room, the kimono sort of trails behind him. He sort of turns with a bit of a flourish and then sort of bows partially to the five of you before kneeling, and then gestures for the five of you to do the same.
For sure.
Kitsugibu would be among the first to do so, and adding, it is an honor to meet you, champion. I've heard great things about you.
Kuro would give a deeper bow, considering he knows that it's the Emerald Champion and that is a status of power in combat and not a power of the tongue. Therefore, he respects him greatly as a warrior and will quietly kneel down, not saying a word.
The only thing I'd add on to what Kami does is he makes sure that Akodo is actually bowing when he's bowing.
No fingers crossed behind his back.
Kumo's that one, he sees somebody bowing and he's like, okay, I'm gonna do a straight all the way down angle, isn't he?
Yep.
Yep.
I can help out anybody.
Oh, you can bow at that angle, I can touch my toes with my tongue.
Reach
Half
other
an hour
things
into
with
this,
it.
we've already got one lost honor, some kinky shit going on. It's fun.
5 minutes, it's gonna be a dating sim.
Um,
Ushikisho purposely waits till everybody else is gone and takes the rear, and he bows, he flares out his kimono, and he just kneels.
my friends, you honor me by your presence here today. And from my request to the great clans of the Empire, you're some of the best samurai within those clans. Or at least the ones that the clan daimyo all have great expectations of, which is what I requested. You may all be wondering why you're here, and we'll get to that. But first, I wish to honor you by performing a tea ceremony.
Ooh.
God damn it. Kuro's left ear immediately starts ringing from sheer boredom that is about to take place.
You did this on purpose, didn't you, Andy?
As he says it, the attendants sort of rush in and they come bearing this little stove, the ceramic pots, ceramic cups that are sort of gold leaf trimmed, one for each of you, all emblazoned with the mon of your respective clans. You can see that there are 3 cups that are kind of set aside that are presumably cups that are emblazoned with the mon of the other 3 great clans that you all see are not present here. So clearly not all of the clans answered the call of the Emerald Champion on this occasion. But the cups are sort of laid down before you. The Emerald Champion produces a paper fan from his sleeve and starts to sort of chant and sway, wafting the fan over the small teapot over the stove. And this goes on for a long time. So long that poor Kuro is probably like turning bright red and like so frustrated from the sheer boredom of it. While on the other hand, Kurokami, you're probably a bit entranced with like the Crane clan.
Oh, yeah.
Invented the tea ceremony, and it's,
Oh, this is a great day for you, yeah.
Oh yeah.
the other 3. How you feel about the tea ceremony is entirely up to you. But there's no doubting that the Emerald Champion performs the ceremony with a lot of grace and utter perfection every single step of the way. From pouring the matcha into the pot, to stirring it, to let it boil, to the chanting and waving that goes with it, to how he presents and pours to each one of you.
yeah.
And the fact that he is doing it himself and not having one of his assistants. It says quite a lot about him as a person.
Oh yeah.
But all in, the tea ceremony is probably about 3 hours long, as you're expected to sort of take part and bow and chant and like slowly sip and share and light formalities with one another throughout.
Oh yeah.
And once it's all said and done, the Emerald Champion sort of pushes everything aside. Now, we have been formally acquainted as samurai for the tea ceremony. It's time for me to offer the privilege that I'm about to offer the five of you. As you all know, the Empire has a new empress. The old court has been disbanded or met their end when the Shadowlands. And so it's time for a new era for the Empire of Rokugan. And all Emerald champions through the ages have called upon the aid of other honourable samurai in maintaining the best interests of the Empire. Being new to the position, I have yet had the time to actually appoint said samurai to such an honourable position. That's why the five of you are here. I asked the champions of all 8 great clans to send those that they felt were deserving of such a title. And of the 8, the 5 of you are the ones who have arrived here. I would like to grant you all the honour of being members of my Emerald Magistrate. Now, you're free to decline such an offer if you have other interests, maybe in your home provinces, that you feel that you would be better suited.
A statement like this would have caused Kitsuki to immediately do the full-on supplication bow, like back away from the table, hands on the ground, forehead pressed down. Just this is such an overwhelming honor. There is no possible way he would refuse this. He does not understand what on earth he could have done to have been worthy of such a thing. But yeah, he's not gonna refuse. No way. Like he is full into this. Just like, how may I serve the Empress?
Kuro, on the other hand, has been brain dead for the last 3 hours.
Are you like trying to hit 0 honor session? Like,
speed run. Honor bankruptcy speed run.
That's what we call a catnap.
Kuro will be joining the ranks of the ninjas soon.
but no, he has been like, he has set his brain to auto mode during the entire tea ceremony, and has
that bird is far away.
that has been completely out of it. And so at the offer of joining the ranks, he actually, his face actually breaks a little as it shows slight confusion before regaining his stoic robot straight face, as he's now complimenting on what is possibly going on. For he is one of the next few successors to take over as head of the clan, and now he's just like, this could really boost my ratings. Yeah. No other successors will be. The successors, I don't already have to worry about this, but with this will solidify my claim. If they try to take it from me, I can now claim it in blood. And so he's just he copies what Kisusho does and backs away and accepts this great honor respectfully.
You see Shibashiro's face almost break for a moment as his mind kind of drifts back to home, kind of half expecting something like this to have happened, but doesn't quite let it get there before snapping back to the reality of the situation. And in a very slow and calm manner, kind of joins the other two in graciously accepting, very obviously without saying any words.
Yeah, I think I prostrate myself kind of like Kitsuki Sho does. Pretty quickly, probably like the moment after I see Kitsushi go down, I was like, oh, I would also be like, oh right, that is the move that you're supposed to do in a situation like this. And I
Shocking moment, like.
I immediately accept graciously, saying I will not let you down.
Very similarly, Kishu falls behind, bringing himself down. The whole while, he seems to be observing everybody around him, taking a moment to look at them, trying to see any gestures, any emotion on their face, just taking it all in before, fully lowering his head down and obviously accepting.
You see the slight upturn of the Emerald Champion's lip into what could be described as a smile as he nods. I'm very pleased that you have all accepted this offer. You've all been sent to me, or most of you, for your skill in the blade. And while all four of you are very skilled, Bushi, I believe you all bring something different to the table. You notice that when he sort of looks over you and talking about skill with a blade and being Bushi, he only really looks at Kitsuki, Sho, Shibashiru, Kurakami, and Kuro. And it's obvious to all of you that his eyes sort of move past Bayushiki Sho when he's talking to you.
Sho is burning with the desire to ask, obviously he wouldn't have sent an invitation to the Scorpion without expecting somebody here, but yeah, if he's going that far and explicitly stating things something like that, but then not acknowledging him, what purpose is he serving? Like something's going on here and it's dark, and he's starting to get red flags.
Kuro doesn't care, so he's ignoring like all of the political stuff and just kind of it's like thinking to himself, oh, these guys are skilled with a blade, bet I gotta test that. I gotta see what that sword hand is made about. I'm gonna make sure each and every one of you get the Aikido style engraved in your mind.
Chuck, dishonorable speed run.
With the
it's not dishonorable to test your blade. I want to see if you can uphold yourself as high as the Emerald Champion says you are. That's me making sure that, hey, we may be comrades. We're gonna go through this.
I'm varsity.
I want to see what you can do.
I ask with the proper honorifics and everything. Cousin, you say that we are all here because we are skilled with the blade. However, there is one here that does not wear the that we did not see present himself as such to you. For what purpose are we to bring a diplomat?
As you say this, you see Kisho just turn his head, and for that moment, you see that steel porcelain expression break, and as he looks at Kito, you just see pure hatred.
Yes, ally! Ally!
Just pure. And it's there for a second before he steals himself, and the Scorpion clan has been at the Emperor's side for many years. We are returned, we are back. I don't need you doubting my abilities.
I bow to Kisho and I say, I meant no disrespect in your abilities. I simply ask for clemency.
He nods, but you see he's trying real hard to hold it back. He's trying.
He would
And
not
Kuro
have
is
been
just
asked here
making-
had there not been some reason.
Hmm.
Perhaps we should let the champion explain himself.
Kuro is just quiet, now wanting to make friends with the representative from the Scorpion clan.
What's the Phoenix's opinion on a member of the Scorpion clan who's clearly not a Bushi being here?
Interested. Definitely would show that in his face a little bit, and then kind of again snap back to remembering who he's in front of at the moment, and trying to maintain respect for that. But gonna take everything in and kind of calculate, form his own opinion before the Emerald Champion has a chance to kind of tell him what's going on.
Now, your question is a fair one to ask. Not all tasks that you will be dealt as Emerald Magistrates will require the use of the blade, and sometimes the more subtle touch of a scorpion or the unexpected strike from the scorpion's tail is what is needed to accomplish the Empress's will.
I'm not going to question his anything. I literally just wanted to know his reasoning. I bow and say, of course, your expertise is, of course, greatly appreciated.
Stars in the night sky would not burn as brightly if not for darkness.
Kuro understands the need of the Scorpion clan, since the Crane family has sent attackers to him and permanently scarred his skin. He understands the point of the clan. He does not hold them to be at fault. He holds the Crane family at fault, and he understands this very well.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Mhm. You want to go do karate in the garage?
You sure do.
Right, Kurokami, it's time for you to start sucking up to the Phoenix, the dragon.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Alliances have formed.
Bird Bros?
I know.
Hell yeah.
Now, I know that you have all no doubt noticed that there are 5 great clans represented here, and not 8. And that is for no fault of the 3 clans who are not present. The Crab clan, as is well aware throughout the Empire, always has feelings on the Caillou wall against creatures in the Shadowlands. And I've heard rumour from the northwest reaches of the Empire that the Unicorn clan are faced with Gaijin from the Burning Sands to the north, who are trying to enter the Empire. And the Mantis similarly face problems in the southeast. And I suspect that all those problems is the reason that they have not sent a capable representative to this meeting. And maybe as a gesture as the Emerald Champion, that my first task for the 5 of you would be to dispatch you to one of these reaches of the Empire to see if you can offer any assistance. My instinct tells me that I should send you southeast to the Mantis clan. They're the youngest of the great clans, and I feel with a new Empress and new Imperial line that they help build, offering them that assistance first is maybe only appropriate. What's your opinion on this, if you don't mind me asking?
You know best.
Imperial champion. Oh. Kuro will speak up. Imperial champion. I grant you great honor for allowing us to give our opinions on this. He would say with a deep bow. I would say that we actually had to help the Crab Clan, as they are fending off the Shadowlands for quite some time now. And sending me, one of the representatives of the Lion Clan, we can probably send some of my clan members to help stave off those from the darkness with our great, mighty strength.
Crab have held that wall for untold generations. Would we not insult them by showing up unannounced?
Well, that is my worry about sending you there first, especially while you're all trained in your various bushy arts and other art forms. I feel that sending untested samurai to the Crab Clan may be, as you say, a little bit insulting.
Ah, my mistake. I just thought of it as one warrior clan to another.
Now you're thinking of only clan. You've accepted to be an Emerald Magistrate, and you must think of the Empire as a whole.
After he
it's a
says that,
necessity.
Shibashiro would give a bow to that and say, if you believe that's what's best for the Empire, then I shall go.
Kisho bows. Regardless of my feelings on the clan, that position is necessary, and we need to protect it. I will go.
Kuro nods in understanding and says, "Thank you for the wisdom that you have given me," and gives a deep bow, and then goes back to his stoic robot silence stare.
They do a quick fist bump.
Hey,
Underneath the table.
just hey.
Japanese style tables, though, so they sit on the floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Leaning like under, like what are you guys doing? Shh, you don't see this.
The table just like pops up real quick.
Yeah. I say, you would certainly know best. If you believe that the Mantis Clan are in need of our assistance, then it is to them that we will send our aid.
Then the five of you will be given quarter here in the palace this evening. And then tomorrow you'll be expected to set south.
Imperial champion, if I may speak again, Kuro would say with a deep bow, would it be possible that I could share quarters with Kisho from the Scorpion clan, as I wish to get to know one of the members? I have not yet met one of the Scorpion clan, and the last one I met have inflicted me with a great grievous wound that I can no longer recover from. I would like to gain some insight to his clan and how they operate.
If all
Kisho
business,
looks and nods.
you've all been given your own quarters for this evening, your own personal room, so that you may prepare yourself in whatever way you feel fit. There are common rooms within the palace where you could gather to share a cup of sake or two and discuss the journey ahead and get to know whatever it is you need to know about one another, as you will be serving alongside each other for the foreseeable.
Thank you again for your wisdom. With the deep bow, he just goes back to brain rot silence. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. Brain
He goes
rot
back to
silence.
brain rot.
You just see his eyes glaze over. Yep, he's there.
Oh, he's gone again.
It's like, is there life in there? Oh,
Where's
wait,
that
no.
Benny Hill music coming from? What the hell?
Every
It's
time he
slow-
goes into brain rot mode, it's just the secret forest music from Legend of Zelda.
He slowly gets to his feet and bows to the room as a whole. The attendants here will show you to your quarters for this evening and show you one of the common rooms that the five of you may use for planning.
Excellent. Is Shinigami allowed in my room, or is he going to stay outside the palace the whole time?
I'm sure the attendants will be taking care of your wolf on the palace grounds, but it doesn't serve too much of anyone else's best interest to allow such an animal within the palace. So
I am deeply offended, but I say nothing.
You see the single tear.
yeah.
Kuro will wait for the Emerald Champion to leave the room before turning to the Scorpion Clan member to let him know that, hey, let's go get some drinks after this.
He just nods. I could do with some sake.
The Emerald Champion, like, he disappears out of the room in as much flash and grace as he came in, with attendants sort of lifting up the back of the kimono as he makes his way out so it doesn't get caught on anything. And the remaining attendants sort of, you see there's a line of 5 of them waiting outside, like it's the sort of rice paper walls. You can see the silhouette of 5 attendants lined up outside the door waiting to greet one of you at a time to lead you all to your rooms in the palace for the night.
All right, so Kuro will be the first to stand. He would then turn to the Scorpion Clan member. I wish to see you in one of the common areas for drinks later on. There is much that we can discuss without all this politicalness. He would then turn and leave.
As you leave, slide the door. One of the attendants bows to you immediately. Master
Kuro
Akodo,
gives
this way to your room.
lead the way.
Leads you off somewhere into the palace.
I look
Down into the dungeon.
I look to Shiru and Sho, and I kind of just give them like a knowing look that kind of says like, just hang back a minute, just don't go anywhere just yet.
Subtle nod.
Yeah.
Same.
I think we all kind of in unison then look to Sho or Kisho.
It's like, hey, what you doing here?
Kisho stands up. You see him straighten out his kimono. He adjusts his masks. Is there something you wish to discuss?
Not with you.
Please tell me you didn't say that out loud.
Kurakami would absolutely say that out loud. These guys betrayed the Empire not too long ago. They're not to be trusted.
A point, yeah.
You're insulting someone of a lower honor standing than you, which doesn't negatively.
Oh,
affect your own.
it doesn't negative affect my honor?
No.
Oh, okay, then yeah, absolutely.
I thought I had the highest honor.
You don't know.
Not anymore, you don't.
I love you, Chuck. I love you, Chuck.
Say
You
what you
and
will.
you and Kurakami actually had the same amount of honor to start with.
Ah. So
Say what you
I'm the one
will.
who took the bat blow. Say no more.
The Scorpion Clan has always
Now,
held
I should-
Empire's best interests.
I should point out something mechanically to you. If at any point you ever want to gauge the honor rating of another samurai, it is a Bushido roll, which is one of your skills, I believe.
Let me bust out that roll. Let me get Kitos. Let's see it.
I guess we'll do it to each other. Yeah. It's gonna be a skill. It's gonna be Bushido, and that's gonna be.
All right.
Where is Bushido on here?
I've not seen it actually.
In which case it will be a etiquette roll, I believe.
It'll be an etiquette roll. Okay.
I'm going to avoid that at all.
It's the
So you can roll and roll
I can
20.
count it.
it's the U roll. It's the U roll, right?
Only if you don't have any ranks in it.
I have two.
U is untrained, so if you've got ranks in it, it's a T roll.
Got it.
Trained. Yeah. Cool.
I have a 1 in it. Funny enough.
Character sheet.
Oh, I see now. It's got the explanation up at the top. My bad.
Yeah.
Why don't I see anything? Oh, skills. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more tabs on
Yeah, I
this
ju-
thing that I was
yeah, I just
prepared
saw.
for. So.
So if he was gonna make a etiquette roll, oh, Kurakami has. That's right. He has a 4 in his, if I believe I remember.
Got a 2.
So etiquette roll. I've got a
Mhm.
1.
I got a 1. So
Then
whatever
use
you roll, I'll
So
know
I-
what I
I
have
hit
to roll.
T, and then what do I do? T etiquette.
It's
Yep.
yeah.
So if you're out your skills, there's like the little D20s, and there's U for untrained, T for trained, and E if you have emphasis and skill.
Oh, okay. So I just hit the T if I want to like ever Bushido check somebody. Oh, why is mine 10?
I don't know why yours is 10.
Oh my goodness! Good grief!
Let me
I just hit. Mine has a 1 in it, and all I did was hit the T because I wanted to see what it looks like.
let me test it.
147. You just felt the whole country. everything all at once.
You know God's honor.
on you, dishonor on yourself.
Dishonor on your land.
I don't
He's
know.
over there casting the goddamn spirit bomb.
Everybody, give me your honor.
Give me your honor.
Maybe his attribute stat that adds to it is wonky or something.
Oh yeah. His awareness is way up at 28.
Oh my God! You have 28 awareness, bro.
Why is my awareness all the way up?
I don't know. It should be 2. Let me
Session
test.
1 technical
Oh,
difficulty.
okay, I noticed. I
Yeah.
noticed.
Lawless
I noticed.
wasteland.
There we go.
Trying to
That's,
cheat,
that's,
dude.
that's it. That's it. That.
For a moment, I noticed everything. I felt I had Spider-Man.
And then the Kami come and slap
I-
you. Yeah, that should be you sorted.
for
that.
for a brief moment, I had spider sense.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, so what did
I
Kisho
can
get?
feel 3D
So, if you're making etiquette rules to try and read someone else's honor, tell me who it is you're trying to sort of read.
Oh no! I wasn't trying to do it. I just wanted to test it.
I was trying to read Kisho's honor.
Okay, so you're reading the Scorpion's honor. Okay. Kisho is, as you sort of study the man for a moment, you get the sensation that he's maybe a little bit more honourable than you initially gave him credit for. Although maybe not quite as honourable as yourself or some of the other samurai in this room. Mechanically, as far as you're aware, Kisho has an honour rating of 3.5.
Got it. That's all I wanted to know. I don't say anything about it to him. All I told him was when he asked me what I wanted, if there was something I wanted to discuss, I said not with you.
Yeah, you're getting a measure of the man standing in front of you.
See, Keisha looks to him, looks to the other two. Well, hopefully we don't need each other's aid. And he turns and leaves.
Let's go get that drink, buddy.
Yeah, he's walking out. He's like, "Oh, where are we going? Shots!"
Similar to Kuro, one of the attendants sort of bows to you quite deeply. Master Bayushi, we will take you to your room and then show you to the common room that the Emerald Champion has arranged for you.
He very quickly responds with a bow. Thank you very much. Proceed.
Lord Elvis is leaving the building.
Thank you very much.
leaving Bird Bros and Dragon.
Bird Bros and Dragon. I don't want to be the first one to broach the silence with these two. They haven't really said enough for me to really gauge how they truly are yet. So I'm going to let them say the first words.
Can you give me just 1 second? I just have to unlock my door.
Yeah, no problem.
That kind of works out because that would probably be Kitsuki. I wouldn't call him a chatterbox, but he's a little more open and friendly given his naivete. Probably saying something along the lines of like, that probably could have gone better. Like first visit to court and suddenly, lines are already being drawn in the sand. Like this is.
Returned.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
So, do you want to restate what you said first, Shiru?
Yeah. Now that we, it's just the dragon, the phoenix, and the crane. I was saying that it's my guy isn't necessarily a chatterbox, but he's, maybe not as reserved as he should be, and he probably says something along the lines of like, "Well, that could have gone better." Visit to a court, and suddenly, lines are already being drawn in the sand. Like, it's all these stories I've heard about all the prejudices from one clan to another, they run really deep, don't they? Wow.
So, the room itself,
Mm-hmm.
how are the walls? Like, what's the layout?
Rice paper thin.
thin.
So they're hearing all this, basically, is what you're getting at.
Yep.
If they
Is there-
wanted to work somewhere.
Is there
yeah.
anywhere where there's some sort of breakage or line of sight where you could hide behind something without a silhouette being shown in the rice walls?
Yeah, as soon as you're sort of a few feet past that door, you'd technically be in front of another room. You wouldn't be able to see your silhouette from there.
He's gonna stay there and listen.
Okay. I'm not. Unless the three of you are trying to be quiet about this conversation, that will determine whether or not I need a dice roll from Chuck
Okay.
to overhear this.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I'm kind of the mind that these guys have been called here for a reason. I don't see any real reason to hide anything from them just yet. I mean, yeah, I've got some misgivings about the Scorpion, him being a Scorpion, but he wouldn't be here unless there was a reason, right? So.
Shiru?
Yeah, so I definitely wouldn't be trying to hide anything at any point. I wouldn't suspect that anyone would spy on us, being where we are. So I would just be, out in the open about things, and I would say something along the lines of, we have to be careful to not let emotion become the enemy of reason.
Very wise.
Now, I
Very
would
well
look. I would be looking right at Kurokami when I say that.
I think a smile would play upon Kurokami's lips, and he would just kind of nod and say, sage words. Sage words.
I return that nod for sure.
Let us make sure that they do not fall upon deaf ears. It will be no surprise that the young lion will wish to prove dominance over all of us here. If that were to happen, he would surely assume leadership. That cannot happen. He would lead us all to our death in the Shadowlands. You heard what his desires are.
We must do our best to become, as the Empire, united.
No
Why
leaders.
we're here, is it not?
I look to them and I say, no leaders. We are even. Yes?
I give the nod of approval.
A wise place to start. I agree.
Okay. Let's get some sake.
Best idea yet. Yes.
Pretty sure you hear them say, let's get some sake, and you're pretty sure that's when they're about to leave the room.
And he starts following his attendant at that point.
The attendant leads you to a small room. The three of you, the three attendants, sort of fan out in the hallway, bow. My lords will show you to the rooms that the Emerald Champion has arranged for you, and then we'll show you how you can reach the common room that has been arranged for your band to discuss your journeys ahead.
So since I was the first one to leave, can I already be set up in the common area with like a bottle of sake with 2 sake cups?
Yeah.
I just want to be pre-prep with like with a servant at hand, they're like ready to bring more drink and food.
So the servant asks you if you want a bottle of warm or cold.
Since Kuro is more available, does it need like the pleasantries of the of like a city civil political life? He would like his warm, for that's when you can really get the spirit of sake out. If you ask him that, that's how you really taste the essence of a maker of sake, is when it's warm, because it's not made cold, it is made warm.
As you wish, my lord Okodo. He disappears.
And bring steamed fish and a bowl of rice.
I'll send to the kitchen straight away for that.
Thank you. I slip him 2 gold pieces. No, 2 of the. Look, I have con.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
You just changed their
I know.
their whole life.
I'm gonna slip him 2 con. I know I have 5. Yeah, I have 5. I want to slip him 2 of them.
Remind us, what's the how would you value Kurto exactly?
Koku is
Koku, sorry.
roughly
Isn't it like an amount of rice?
a measure of rice, yeah.
Yep.
So like a koku theoretically could feed a peasant for a full year. It's roughly
Yeah. I want to give him 2. I want to give him 2.
Okay.
roughly worth 5 bushels of rice, which is enough to feed a peasant for a whole year.
I want to give him 2. Mm-hmm.
The attendant sort of waves his hands and bows repeatedly. My lord, I can't accept. That is too generous a gift.
If you can't accept it, then give me 1 back. Either way, you're not leaving here empty-handed.
You see the sort of look on his face, like, that makes sense. If he's giving me a gift and then I'm giving him 1 back, that seems fair. And so he takes the 2 koku from you and then offers 1 back to you.
I give him a deep bow.
Damn.
Thank you for your gift. Hopefully you enjoy yours.
Eddie using real world knowledge of fucking gift giving ceremonies to fucking good shit, dude.
I am a hero of the people.
He tucks that koku deep within his kimono and disappears. And it probably doesn't take him too long to come back with everything you've asked. And like the portions of rice and fish are huge. Like
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're generous. Yeah.
Tell the chef I thank you for his time. Tell him I wish to give him thanks soon too.
I'll make sure the chef knows that his skills are very appreciated, my lord. Kisho, as you're making your way to the common room after, settling into the quite modest room that you've been given in the palace, you meet this attendant sort of rushing past you, sort of glancing into his kimono as if he's looking at something really precious. That he almost bumps into you, if not for the attendant leading you, who kind of pushes him out of the way to make sure that he doesn't insult a samurai.
Kisho sees this and doesn't seem to pay any mind as he goes into the common room and sees, Kuro having the time of his life apparently over there.
I'm just smiling. I haven't started drinking yet. I'm just smiling.
Kisho walks in. He's kind of taken aback by this just big smile there, like just kind of stares at him before taking a seat.
Comrade, come, let us drink. And I pour his cup first, and then I pour mine. I had a servant bring fish, rice, and drink. Come, let us have tales. I'm extremely friendly. I'm not showing no prejudice. Doesn't matter. I'm just being upfront with the guy.
Kisho nods, and for a moment you see the brow raise. There's just a look of almost relaxation, it seems, as he takes the cup and he nods his head politely.
Come, it's not poison. I drink my cup first to show him that it's not, and then pour another glass. Now together.
You see Kisho looks to the attendant. Will you approach, please?
The attendant sort of meekly shuffles towards the table and bows his head.
Can you stand in front of me, please?
Bows and sort of steps in front of you.
With the attendant between the two of them, he brings his hand up to lift his mask slightly and brings the cup up and downs the whole thing.
I hear the gulping, so I'm do the same, and I'll just click.
He lowers his mask.
Sake up on the ground.
On the table. He looks at the attendant. Thank you. You may go.
Or bows and shuffles back into the corner.
Now come, tell me about the Scorpion clan. The last one I met, and I show up my arm and gestures at my face, and I know you see my body and how it is scarred permanently, but that has not taken away from my majestic beauty. So tell me about the Scorpion clan. I hold you no ill.
He looks for a moment before also gesturing to his eye. You're not the only one who has seen unsettling behavior from the other clans, but that is to be expected.
I'm going to assume that it was the Crane clan. They are the... And he stops, say he thinks, and he just makes a whatever gesture. It was the Crane clan who did this to me. If so to you, then I understand.
It was, but that is not why I hold the animosity that I do. But we are here.
He
for a
nods
singular
slowly.
purpose. We are here to defend the Empire. And regardless of what anybody thinks, the Scorpion clan has always had the Empire's best interests at heart.
Well said. Come, let us eat. Let us drink until the night turns dark, until the day turns bright.
And sit on the road with a hangover.
Mhm.
Is it really a hangover if you haven't slept?
It's not really hangover if you haven't stopped drinking.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
I've done that in
Uh,
Japan.
The other three, you're guided to your modest rooms. There's a bed. You notice that your swords have actually been brought to your rooms.
Excellent.
Although, and I'll point this out to the other two, you will have noticed that the Suba, which is the handguard of your sword, and the Sai, which is the sheath, have been braided together, so you can't actually draw the sword, which is common in places where you might be allowed to carry a sword, but you're expected not to actually get into a conflict. It means you'd actually have to spend time untying it before you could actually draw. And it's the attendants and the imperial household as a whole telling you that while you can carry a sword, now that you're not in a meeting with anyone of importance, you're pretty much been warned that you've not to draw a weapon within the
My
household.
Kuros is in his room, Dan. Since he has no point of it, and if push comes to shove, he still got his hands. He still got paws. These paws deal honor. They deal honor damage.
3 a.m. Kuro's just walking around the palace. Who wants to catch these hands? These hands are ready to eat for everybody.
I think I looked
I
at
just
this a
hit-
few nights ago.
I just hit somebody and their cheek turns and they turn back. Oh, that punch was nothing. They get hit by the second hit of honor.
What were you saying,
What was
Andy?
that? My honor.
I checked this a few nights ago, and I think the only one of the 5 of you that can actually defend yourself decently unarmed is Kurokame, because he's the only one with Jiu-Jitsu.
I have 1 rank in Jiu-Jitsu. Let's go.
Actually, I have a rank in jujitsu because that comes with the school.
Okay.
That's why I'm like, okay, who wants these hands? They grow.
Well, I definitely, I
yeah, you do. Yep.
I definitely put my my sword on. I don't unbraid it or anything because I imagine that would probably have pretty severe implications. So I leave it sheathed and braided, but I definitely put it on because it's my family sword, and if there's other people around, I'm not about to leave that around.
Yep. Fair enough. Are you going to the common room that you've been told that's available to you?
Absolutely, yes.
Then when you arrive, you find the lion and the scorpion already maybe a drink or two into a large, still steaming bottle of sake.
I imagine that probably Sho and Shiru would be moving at the same time, so I imagine we probably all arrive at the same time, assuming we take the same amount of time to get there.
Probably
So
more
yeah,
or less, yeah.
Yeah,
three of
probably
you
doing the
will
exact same thing.
probably meet in the corridors with your attendants leading the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get to the common room, these two are already a drink or two deep into the bottle that they've acquired.
Ah, we're late. Apparently, we need to play catch up.
I join you at the table.
Kuro stops and looks over. I do not remember inviting you to this table.
Before anything can, before any hands are caught or not, Sho just very quietly puts his hand on Kuro's shoulder. Akodo-san, would you permit us to join you at your table?
Oh shit.
Kuro looks at the hand, looks at you, then looks back to his scorpion friend with a gaze that says, "Should we?"
And he looks over at Bayushi. And it's like, forgive my rudeness. I meant to include you in that question as well, Bayushi-san.
we're all here for the same reason. There is no reason to separate the party.
Kuro
roll wine.
sighs. Kuro sighs deeply and say, "Yes, I permit you. Excuse my behavior. It's just I'm not as political as the Crane family."
I imagine we're all a little tired from the journey. Please.
No, the
Katsuki-san,
journey was the journey was well fought, enjoyable. I fought 2 bandits on the way. Pleasant scenery, great journey.
A couple days, we just get reports. Lion Clan member was just punching peasants.
Two peasants found with their skull bashed in with the letter H embedded into it.
I don't know,
Maybe
he
for
was just
honor.
screaming about honor or something.
He didn't even draw the sword, he just kept the sheath on and
I ask if Shiru is going to join us.
Yeah,
Shiba-san,
so
Katsuki-san, please be seated. Please tell us of your journey, Akoto-san.
I already finished my telling of my journey to my scorpion friend here. I do not wish to repeat it. Not to
Very
be
well.
rude or disrespectful, it's just that a story second told is no longer a story, it is a tale.
I like that. It's gonna get quoted.
Tails follow lions, do they not?
Do you say that?
Yeah, not in a challenging way, but it's like, you know, wherever a lion goes, tails are sure to follow. You guys are known for that. You're legendary.
and
You
literally.
you honor me. You honor me. Thank you. But no, it's just a simple. Like I said, it's just a simple story. Pleasant travel, horseback, 2 bandits. That's it. The battle was the most enjoyable thing about it.
I see why the champion has called you then.
Oh, do not worry. I wish to test your sword hands as well. Oh, Koro goes, calls for his servant. Tell me, can you procure 2 additional? He stops himself. 3 additional sake cups for my guest.
The attendant bows, of course, my lord, and any sort of motions to 2 of the other attendants to come with him to fetch the sake cups.
Until
Most
your
gracious,
cups get
thank
here, my friend, I cannot offer you any sake until it gets here. But for now, please partake of fish and rice, a warrior's meal, for we have much to do tomorrow. I wish to set out early. I do not know if you wish to follow behind.
Well, the earlier the earlier the better, I think. But you can tell he's studying the meal once it arrives. And he says something to the effect of like, I've never had ocean fish before. Like he's like studying this and like eating it very slowly and contemplating its flavors.
I ask, what do you tend to eat in the mountains, Kitsuki-san?
Mostly vegetables and some river fish when the weather turns warmer. But yeah, I've never been this close to the sea before. I've never felt its touch on the breeze. This is all a very new experience for me.
Shiba-san,
Kuro
what do you eat?
joins in.
This is
no.
something I would eat regularly. But you notice that I'm not necessarily partaking at the moment. I actually want to try and intercept the servant as they come back with the additional cups to take them from them.
Yeah. So you're keeping your eye out.
Yeah.
Oh, you telling me they do not take salted fish up to the mountain for you?
Well, salted fish, preserved fish, absolutely, but not fresh ocean fish.
I could not imagine living like that.
It is called a very harsh life by some.
I can see why and I appreciate you. Thank you for joining and partaking of a meal you have no idea what it tastes like.
I am always one for new experiences, Akoto-san.
And hopefully you will enjoy a good sparring with me to show off my family's techniques.
I would be honored to learn. Thank you.
Bayushi-san, and what of your people? What is your delicacies? What are your delicacies? Excuse me.
He looks like Akita and he just. Crane, I'm sure you already know. Why ask such questions?
I look kind of taken aback for a moment, and then I immediately compose myself and look over at you and in earnest, can I use sincerity to say I am merely trying to be polite?
If you like.
I mean, I don't know if like rolling something like that against players is a good thing or a bad thing.
For most things, when it's player on player, I tend not to bother making you roll with. I'll leave it up to Chuck whether or not his character wants to believe you or not. But against an NPC, then yeah, definitely.
He kind of just sits there for a moment, takes it in. I am sorry about my brash approach. We did not have the best footing at the start.
Did I miss something? Kuro would join in.
I listen.
I appreciate you.
I say I'm merely listening to the words of one far wiser than I, and I look to the Phoenix homie and the Dragon homie.
Are these cups here yet, or what?
My bad, trying to
You,
get drink
you
up.
sort of your
Like,
attention
I'm
sort of
not
turns.
sober enough for this. Where's the drink? Where's the
Eh,
drink?
You beat me to it, Chuck.
Your attention
Not
is
sober
sort of
enough for
grabbed,
this conversation.
as the door sort of slides open as the attendant sort of comes back. The one at the two at the front are carrying the jugs of sake, while the one at the back is carrying a tray of glasses or cups.
Yeah,
You-
definitely like to get up and intercept them and gesture to take it from them politely with a slight bow.
they look a little bit confused that you're wanting to take
Yes.
them, but they're not going to argue with the samurai. They sort of hand the stuff over to you with a bow and then kind of shuffle back into their corners.
I take the tray and bring it over to where are we like sitting or like kneeling on the ground or?
So it'll be like a flat wooden bed. There's essentially a table on the ground, and it'll be like cushions that you have to kneel or sit cross-legged on.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I was picturing the like dinner scene from Last Samurai, so I got that right.
Oh, that was I was thinking as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. So so I placed
Very
the tray
traditional
down.
setup.
Yeah, I placed the tray down and I gesture politely to collect the cups from my scorpion and lion friends.
Kuro looks at you quizzingly. There is no need for political movements and ceremony here. We are now just warriors to share a drink. No need for all of that. We had enough of
He shows like a warrior. Yep, that's me.
Yeah, so I very, very slightly tip my head down and say, honor me.
Kuro's just like trying to hold himself back. There's really no need for ceremony here. I honor you enough. Come, let me pour you a drink. Just come sit.
It's not so
No
much a
more need for
ceremony. It's not so
ceremony.
much a ceremony you think he's going for. Just like a friendly, like I'm gonna pour around and like say something probably.
Mm.
Kuro doesn't see that. He has like severe brain rot at the moment. So anything that looks like a ceremony, he's just not going to go for it.
I insist for Shiba's sake that we all take part.
Kuro is just like trying to hold back and just like fucking damn it. And just pass over his cup and just like and he just like he looks at his scorpion friend and he can see from his eyes. It's all you just like all Kuro's here is just do 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 do. That brain rot is just setting
And he
in.
goes, Kuro, do you wish to lead someday?
I'm sorry, you're talking to
Lead
me
or lead?
or him?
Lead.
League?
Lead.
Oh, I'm sorry. It must be the drink. Oh, of course I as one
Good
of the
cover.
successors for my clan, I am going to lead. It's not when, it's not if, is just a matter of time.
Circumstance and ceremony is part of that position, my friend. Get used to it.
He throws his hands up in just defeat and just like